Hello, I'm Susan Cadeau. Thank you for being with us. In a few weeks, new statistics will be released on the number of Oklahomans living in poverty. No one is expecting a dramatic change for the better, especially with the growing number of unemployed. But new research is casting a clearer picture on just what poverty means in Oklahoma, and for many, it means a standard of living similar to that in third world nations.
At the moment, more than 17% of Oklahomans are living in poverty. But for most of those adults and children, it's poverty that is generational. The latest figures from the Annie E. Casey Foundation's Kids Count study shows Oklahoma did make some progress, now ranked 37th in the nation, up 2 spots from last year. But over the last 4 years, it's almost as if for every step forward, the state ends up falling backward, generally staying around the bottom 10% of states. This is a story about the reality of poverty in Oklahoma and what is being done to lift people out of it. Dan Strawn is Executive Director of the Homeless Alliance in Oklahoma City. That is Dan's reaction to the question, what is Oklahoma doing to end chronic poverty? Then he reaches back and finds something positive.
The governor actually has an interagency council on homelessness. And so all those state agencies that have some impact on homelessness get together actually every other month.
But having said that, Strawn knows without his group and others, those in poverty will never find the limited programs the state has to offer. And that is what makes nonprofits, churches, and ordinary folks so important in this effort.
Homelessness is that's the butt end of poverty. That's when you're very low income, extremely low income, or no income.
It's living on less than $2 a day. New research published in a book by the same name found that 1.5 million American households are living off less than $2 a day. Dan Strawn has seen it firsthand through a program aimed at helping those on the extreme bottom end of poverty.
And it's geared towards chronically homeless people and homeless veterans and getting them into housing and wrapping them around with the services they need to sustain their housing. And of those chronically homeless and vets that we've housed, over 500, 65% had zero income when they came to us.
Every Sunday morning in a parking lot in downtown Oklahoma City, there is a hot meal waiting for the homeless.
Kind of like the mailman, right? Sleet, snow, whatever, we're there. We go down to Oklahoma City and feed the homeless.
Robin Watanabe and Risha Moraine, along with their husbands, family, and friends, have for the last 5.5 years found a way to come up with food for the homeless every Sunday without the help of a food bank, a church, a nonprofit organization, or the government.
It began with a few little brown lunch bags of water and peanut butter sandwiches and granola bars. And almost 6 years later, here we are, and we feed probably average of 100 people every week.
Robin and Risha say it is truly a God thing.
I'll come home, and she does to come, and we'll find things on our porch. The donations of whatever. It can be clothes, shoes, backpacks, just whatever. And people call and say, hey, I got this. One guy called and said he had 20 roasted chickens.
And they know they have made a difference and helped lift some people out of poverty.
When you get the text and says it's nice to have good people who truly care on your side. And that's what kept them going and getting off the streets. People giving you a hug and just saying, thank you. Thank you for not giving up.
Their Facebook page, Feed His Sheep, is also the name of their ministry. They use it to put the word out when certain items are needed.
We say, hey, we need this, and it just appears. And or we do yard sales. We find coffee pots or toasters or, and then we help them move in.
9 farmers markets across Oklahoma have now signed up to take part in the Double Up program. For some time, farmers markets have accepted SNAP benefits, better known as food stamps. Now, when people trade SNAP benefits for tokens to buy things, the Double Up program is matching those purchases up to $20 a day. Hallie Williams is manager of the OSU OKC Farmers Market.
This is actually a grant-funded program through USDA that we just received this past spring. And so July 1st will be the start for ourselves as well as the other markets in the state.
That means up to $40 a day can go for meat, eggs, any unprepared food, plus vegetables and fruits straight from a local farmer's garden.
One of our biggest goals is to improve the fruit and vegetable intake numbers, and so Oklahoma is ranked rather low in our produce consumption, and so hopefully with this type of project and more like it, we can increase the fruit and vegetable intake.
Meredith Scott is with the Oklahoma Nutrition Information and Education Project, and if they find more funding, the program could spread to more markets.
Whenever you eat better, you feel better, you're more productive.
And Bud Leatherwood has seen the demand increase from food stamp buyers for his fresh veggies.
I'll shell a pea or something and try to get them to eat it. They get to eating that stuff, and these kids are coming back, and I'm giving them cucumbers or eating cucumbers raw.
At 3 Salvation Army locations, people living in poverty are taking a 20-week course called Bridges Out of Poverty. Leona Chapman is the Director of Social Services for the Salvation Army in Norman. She also is the instructor of the Bridges Out of Poverty program.
Oh, the need is enormous. If we look at individuals that are in the cycle of poverty and repeating and the generational poverty that's going on in our community, the numbers are just increasing every day.
The course makes people look inside for answers.
We help them to look in their own lives and search why they're in poverty and how they've been there and what impact their economic story has on their own lives. Then they have an opportunity to see maybe where something could change and be different.
Rachel Kinney is a graduate of Bridges Out of Poverty and is now helping to teach others. For years, Rachel says she was in denial of her financial situation.
Couch surfing, like staying with other people. I did that for a long time, and then temporarily I was staying, like my sister, she had a vehicle, so I was like sleeping in her and I were sleeping in her vehicle, like in a parking lot.
For Rachel, the course taught her to face up to her situation and then gave her the tools to begin digging out of poverty.
It sets you up to start building your own future and, get things, kind of showing you the steps and then just giving you the strength to do it.
Those are just a few of the stories of people helping people to get out of poverty, while Oklahoma still has the 11th highest poverty rate in the nation.